Hello, good evening. Ayan. So, it's been a while. Hello po sa ating viewers po sa ating YouTube channel. Good evening po sa ating lahat. So, andito naman po tayo sa free review para sa Social Studies Majorship para po sa March 2026 Licensure Examination for Teachers. So, na-prepare po ako ng questions para at least po magkaroon po kayo ng additional inputs para po sa ating nalalapit na board exam this March po. Ayan. So, hello po sa ating mga viewers dyan sa ating Facebook page, sa ating YouTube channel. Hi po sa ating lahat. Ayan. Alright. So, kindly comment naman po muna dyan sa ating Facebook page o sa ating YouTube channel kung kumusta po kayo dyan at kung saan po kayong galing na probinsya or city. Ayan. Ayan. Alright. Okay. So, let's start po mamayang konti. Check ko muna yung aking connections, ang aking yung aking monitor sa Facebook at saka sa YouTube. Ayan. Hello kay Ma'am Maricel Pranada. Ayan. Hi sa'yo, Ma'am. Okay. So, maulan ba yan siya? Maulan ba sa inyo ngayon? Hello kay Ma'am Katrina. Hello, Ma'am. Good evening po sa ating lahat. Okay. So, ito po ay, ayan, from Batanes. Hello, Ma'am Katrina. So, kumusta? LPT na, no? LPT from Batanes. So, thank you so much po sa inyong pagsuporta. Hanggang ngayon, andyan pa rin kayo. Okay. So, saglit lang ha. Ayan. So, alright. Okay. So, pwede tayo siguro mag-start. Hindi ko ma-monitor yung ano. So, anyways. So, basta hello po sa lahat ng nasa Facebook page natin and of course sa ating YouTube channel. So, this is episode 2 ng ating free random let review and drills. Of course, this is for the social studies majors in preparation for their LAT exam this coming March 2026. So, I hope na nasa 100% na kayo, kung po pwede lang as of now na level na, okay? So I hope na nasagasaan na ninyo o na-review na ninyo yung mga concepts na dapat ay baon-baon po natin sa darating na board exam. So, and again, so nagbibigay naman ako ng tips na doon sa aming exclusive group and doon sa previous na mga live sessions po natin. So I hope na binabalikan ninyo or meron kayong checklist para tingnan kung yung mga topics ba na kasama po sa ating TOS or sa Table of Specification ay naaral na po natin. Okay? So para sa mga secondary dyan, so of course, unahin po natin yung majorship natin dahil yun po yung area of specialization natin. So dapat po hindi po tayo mababa doon na area. And of course, yung professional education dahil same percentage lang po sila ng majorship which is 40%. 40% for majorship and of course 40% po sa ating major. And of course, syempre, wag din natin kalimutan yung general education na 20% din po. Okay? So kung wini-wish natin or ini-aim natin yung high ratings or yung highest possible rating or top-notcher, top 1 o ano man yung rank na gusto ninyo dyan. So I hope na as of now, so nasa 90% na po kayo. So bali pag before end ng Feb, so dapat talagang ready na kayo na kung ano man yung ibigay ni BPT na question sa inyong test questionnaire ay ready na kayong sagutan. Okay? So ayan. Hello! Hi kay Sir Joshua. Ayan. I miss you also. Ha? Si Joshua talaga, oo. Okay. Hi Sir Alfred. Ayan. Yes, 2024 passer QT daw si Ma'am LJ. Alright. So, sige, wag na natin patagalin dahil ay medyo mahaba-haba pa. Okay? So, tonight we will be having 20 items lang po ng review. So that covers yung some of the subdisciplines ng social studies na dapat ay napag-aralan na po natin. Okay, so let's start na po siguro. So here are my references. So World History for the Postmodern Filipino. So andyan pa yung authors natin. Napakagandang libro po kung meron kayo niyaan. So basahin po natin. And of course, yung majorship kasi natin, merong Prof. Ed. Okay? So, wag magtataka na yung majorship natin may mga questions about professional education. So, normal lang po yan. Kasi during our time, may solving pa nga ng average ng grades. Alright. So, Lorimar, Foundations of Special and Inclusive Education. So, by kay Sir Tyrone O. Hill, Jr., MA. Okay, Master of Art in Teaching and of course, licensed professional teachers. And of course, may mga questions po dito na self-made or ginawa ko lang po na feeling ko magagamit po natin sa board exam. Okay, so before I'm going to start, so again, meron po kaming review program, of course, para lang po ito sa mga social studies majors. And ongoing pa rin po yung aming registration. So kung may mga friends po kayo, mga kakilala or kaklase na gusto po mag-join sa aming review program, so kindly send lang po ng message dito po sa aming Facebook page. So as soon as possible po, magre-reply po kami kapag nakita po namin agad yung inyong mga inquiries. Alright. So, okay. And from time to time siguro, pag meron akong time kasi meron akong review sa Macboard dito sa may college sa amin. So, after siguro ng final coaching, so magla-live po ako tungkol sa or about sa professional education. So, baka po makatulong sa mga magte-take po natin ng board exam. So baka po may mga mapulot kayong importanteng concepts na pwede nyo pong gamitin doon sa actual board po ninyo. So hindi lang po ito para sa aming mga reviewees. So kung sino man po yung gustong manood or makinig, so free lang naman po ito. So dito sa aming Facebook Live, sa aming YouTube channel, and of course sa aking Facebook page. Kasi friend ko sila kasi sa Facebook. Okay, so kasi yung mga in-review ko sa kanila sa Macboard, so, i-discuss ko po ulit para for retention and of course, para mapag-aralan po nila before po ng kanilang mock exam. So, ayan. So, hi sa mga aking mga mock reviewees dyan, mga students ko. Okay, kita-kits tayo after ng final coaching ko. Balikan ko kayo after ng March. Alright. Hi kay Sir Mark dyan. Okay, so mahaba-haba na yung chika natin. Ayan. Hi, ma'am. Ay, hi, ma'am Laila. Hello po. Maganda gabi, ma'am. Ayan. Alright. Sino pa ba? Okay. So, ayan. Okay. Start na tayo siguro. Okay, yung messenger ko, ang daming, nako, medyo, ang dami kong ganap. Okay, so start na tayo. Ayan, so kahit na ready kayo or hindi kayo ready, so wala kayong choice. Wala kayong choice kundi makinig, ayan. Okay, so hi kay ma'am, Ayan Concha, ayan. Basahin ko lang yung message niya ha. So, hi ma'am, good evening po. Thank you po, LPT na ako. Nakita ko talaga yung videos sa private group ni Ma'am Kim. Hi Ma'am Kim, thank you so much sa iyong recommendations. Kay Ma'am Joyce, ayan. Private group ni Ma'am Kim and ang galing niyo po mag-discuss ng Gen Ed and Proof Ed. Ayan, mag-off taking na siya. So, congratulations sir, and of course, kung gusto niyo pang sumali sa aming review program, message lang po. Okay, so ready na. So number one na tayo. And I will read the question twice and of course the choices. So kung alam niyo yung sagot o kung ano man yung feeling yung tamang sagot, so comment lang po dito sa ating comment section. Okay, so number one, so René Descartes is known as the father of rationalism because he, letter A, supported scholastic religious thinking. B, championed the use of reason and rejected religious bias. C, focused only on military strategies. And letter D, promoted materialism over all other ideas. Okay. Number one, so si René Descartes is known as the father of rationalism because he, letter A, supported scholastic religious thinking. B, championed the use of reason and rejected religious bias. C, focused only on military strategies. And letter D, promoted materialism over all other ideas. Ayan. Sagot-sagot po kayo dyan sa comment section. Ayan. Okay. Okay. Makikita ko yung mga sagot nyo dyan sa Ayan. Si Sir Ian pala mag-off taking niya on. Ba, nako, ang gandang date naman yon. Okay. Off taking sa Feb 14. Ayan. So, saan yung date nyo? Saan yung date nyo? Okay, so what's your answer? Sagot-sagot sa ating mga andyan sa may Facebook page, sa ating YouTube channel. Hello pala. Okay, nakamonitor ako sa YouTube namin. Ayan. Okay, so may mga free videos kami sa aming YouTube channel. So kung gusto ninyong manood, especially sa mga social studies major, ayan. So meron kaming, tawag ito, meron kaming free discussions and of course, drills dito sa YouTube channel. So baka po makatulong sa inyo. Ayan. So same na po ng aming pangalan ng aming Facebook page, The Do Top Notches Corner. Search na po sa YouTube. And kung hindi naman po kalamisan, so pa-click naman po ng subscribe para naman po masuportahan nyo kami kahit papaano. Talaga? Okay. So, hello ma'am. Pag final coaching, saan po sasama and how much po? Okay. Ayan, hello po, teacher. So, message lang po yung, search lang po sa Facebook yung aming Facebook page. So, The Do Top Notchers Corner, Social Studies Major po. And sasagutin po namin yung mga questions ninyo po. Ayan. Okay. Hi, Sir Rinaldo. Congratulations. Okay, letter B, letter B, letter B. Sino nga ba itong si René Descartes na ito? Okay. So, he is the father of rationalism. So, dahil, of course, he championed the use of reason and of course, rejected yung what we called religious bias. So, again, so he was regarded as the father of rationalism and of course, modern philosophy for establishing reasons, of course, rather than sensory experience. So, he is famous for yung tinatawag nating cogito ergo sum or I think therefore I am. Okay? Pag makita nyo sa board, sa Gen Ed man yan or sa Proof Ed or even sa ating majorship, pag nakita nyo yung I think therefore I am, so kay René Descartes po yan. So he is the father of rationalism. Okay? Okay, so letter B for budol. Okay, letter B po tayo dyan. Alright, so thank you so much, Sir Reynaldo. Ayan. So, Ma'am Malihan Karen, so message lang po sa aming Facebook page. So, yan. Nakakamiss mabuhay. Okay, so again, so Rene Descartes who wrote, I think, therefore I am. So is considered father of rationalism. So basahin ko lang, he believed that eternal truth can be only discovered and tested through reason. Okay. Next. Okay, number 2. So to select a topic for social research, personal blank can ensure enthusiasm in completing a selected study. Is it letter A, validity? Letter B, feasibility. C, relevant. And letter D, interest. Again, to select a topic for social research, personal blank can ensure enthusiasm in completing a selected study. Is it letter A, validity, B, feasibility, C, relevant, and letter D, interest? Ayan, research. So next pala na na session natin this Sunday. Okay, kung walang conflict yung schedule. Okay, naka-schedule po yung part 1 ng ating research on Sunday. Okay, magpo-post lang po kami sa may Facebook page kung anong oras po or just in case merong changes. Ayan. Research na po. So last topic na po, research, part 1 and part 2. And then magpi-pre-board na po tayo and naka-schedule na po yung ating final coaching on February 28 with Ma'am Donna and ako po on March 1 po tayo. Okay, mas early kasi early po yung exam natin sa March 15 na po. Malapit na po. Okay. Okay, so next, letter D, letter D. Okay, so this is, of course, letter D. So again, to select a topic for social research, personal interest can ensure enthusiasm in completing a selected study. Okay, syempre, pag magre-research ka, dapat yung i-research mo. Okay, so halimbawa na lang yung mga action research. So paano ka ba, ano ba yung mga topics o ano ba yung mga problema na gusto mong isolve? So pag mas interested ka doon sa problema o yung isang problema na bibigyan mo ng action, so mas motivated ka. Okay? So, yun. So, bakit? Pag interest kasi, nagkakaroon tayo ng motivation. Mas motivated tayo and mas persistent. So, kasi yung interest natin, it acts as a powerful, internal, and sustainable motivator na tinatawag. So, di ba meron tayong tinatawag na intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. So, dapat, pag magkakanda ka ng any research, okay, so dapat intrinsically motivated po tayo. Okay? Hindi yung dahil, bibigyan kasi ako ng certificate or magbibigay sila ng certificate sa akin, gagamitin ko ito sa career progression, gagamitin ko ito sa promotion. Okay? Pag intrinsically motivated ka kasi, okay, you will do the task without, kahit na walang reward. Okay? Unlike na, for example, extrinsically motivated ka, so you are after certificate, recognition, ipapraise ka ni school head mo, and etc. And of course, kapag interesado ka sa isang research study, so it encourages in-depth exploration. So talagang mas tututukan mo o you will dig deeper para makuha mo yung data na gusto mo o yung result na gusto mong makuha. Okay, and of course, pag mas interested ka, yung quality of work or yung quality ng research mo mas maganda, mas better. Okay? And of course, ano pa ba? It promotes self o yung personal growth natin and career satisfaction. 'Di ba? Kasi pag motivated tayo, mas gusto natin yung isang bagay, mas smooth lang yung trabaho. Hindi tayo na-stress, hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng anxiety, hindi tayo nade-depress because we are interested, okay, doon sa research na ginagawa mo. Okay. And so of course, makakasolve ka ng isang problema is because talagang tinutukan mo, mas focused ka, mas motivated ka na gawin yung isang research. Ayan, so very good. So letter D po tayo dyan, interest. Ayan. Hi, Ma'am Marlene. LPT na daw siya from Bicol. Hello po sa mga taga Bicol dyan. Alright, next. Number 3. So, for months, residents in Misamis Oriental barangay have been frustrated about poor road conditions and lack of public transportation. So many have independently expressed support for advocating better infrastructure through community meetings. So eventually, they come together to organize a peaceful march to the city hall. So which theory aligns this with this scenario? So ito yung mga theories of crowd behavior natin. Is it letter A, contagion theory, B, emergent norm theory, C, convergence theory, and letter D, social strain theory. Again, for months, residents in Misamis Oriental or barangay have been frustrated about poor road conditions and lack of public transportation. So many have independently expressed support for advocating better infrastructure through community meetings. So eventually, they come together to organize a peaceful march to the City Hall. So which theory aligns with this scenario? Is it letter A, contagion theory, B, emergent norm theory, C, convergence theory, and letter D, social strain theory? So lumabas to during my exam, our exam pala, noong sa time namin. Ayan. So actually, hindi ko to na-review during my time or during my review period. Pero basta mag-focus ka lang kasi and intindihin mo yung questions, masasagutan mo siya. So hindi mahirap yung majorship kagaya ng inaakala natin. Meron kasi tayong misconceptions about yung tinatawag nating sobrang hirap daw ng majorship. Mahirap lang yan kung hindi ka nag-aral. Ganun na kadali yon. Mahirap yan pag hindi mo naaral yung lahat ng scope ng majorship. Okay, so hi Ma'am Jonah. Ayan, see you sa Sunday. Okay, letter D. Letter D. Okay. So, tingnan ko sa ano. Umuulan din ba sa inyo? Umuulan? Ayan. Lagyan niyo po ng ano ha, ng number para mabasa ko kung anong number na kayo. Okay? Hi kay Ma'am Kantik. Ayan, from Cotabato LPT na po. Ayan. Thank you so much, Ma'am. Ayan. All right. Hi Sir Arnel. O di ba nag-live ang person. parang hindi basta. Okay. So, first time ko mag-live sa aking Facebook page. So, welcome yung mga bashers ko ng mga bashers agad. All right, letter C, sabi ni Sir Mark. Ayan. Letter C ba? Okay, so again, basahin ko muna. So, for months, residents in Misamis Oriental Barangay have been frustrated about poor road conditions and lack of public transportation. So, many have independently expressed support for advocating better infrastructure through community meetings. Eventually, they come together to organize a peaceful march to the City Hall. So, which theory aligns with this scenario? So, merong nagsagot ng letter D and merong letter C. So, this is convergence theory. Okay, so isa-isahin natin itong tinatawag nating theories of crowd behavior. First, itong tinatawag nating contagion theory. So, yung proponent nito is si Gustav Libon. Okay, so yung from the word, contagion from the word contagious. So yung behavior ng crowd spreads like a disease. Okay. So, yung mga, halimbawa yung individual, yung mga tao doon, nagkakaroon sila ng pagkawala, okay, ng kanilang sense of personal responsibility. And of course, nagiging emotionally influenced by others kasi nahawa sila doon sa behavior ng halimbawa ng kasama nila, ganyan. Okay, so again, contagious from the word, contagion theory rather, from the word contagious, which is yung behavior ng crowd nagkakaroon ng parang naging contagious disease or nakakahawa. So nawala na sila doon sa kanilang personal na responsibility and kumbaga na-impluwensyahan na sila ng iba. Okay, so anong nangyayari sa mga tao o sa crowd dito? So ang nangyayari is nagkakaroon ng they act impulsively. Okay. So kung ano na lang yung halimbawa, kung ano yung feeling nila na-impluwensya sila doon sa behavior ng kasama, so hindi na sila nagkakaroon ng rational thinking. Okay. So yung kanilang emotions, so bigla na lang siyang nagsispread ng mabilis. So halimbawa siya nagpapanik or masyadong excited. Ayan. So, and of course, yung kanilang, sabi ko nga, yung kanilang rational thinking ay, okay, nawawala. Okay. So, contagion, from the word contagious, parang sakit siya na nakakahawa. Okay, so let's go with yung sagot natin, convergence theory. So, from the word converge, so naibig sabihin ay to come together from, let's say, different directions and meet at a certain point. So, for example dito, halimbawa yung mga political supporters. So, syempre meron tayong mga, tawag ito, may mga politicians tayong sinusuportahan. Okay. So, for example, merong mga supporters ng ating president. Okay, ni President Bongbong Marcos. So, halimbawa, nagkaroon ng issue. So, to show their support, so nagkakaroon sila ng nag-get together and halimbawa pupunta sila sa isang rally. Okay. So yung behavior ng tao o ng crowd, hindi nila sarili nilang kine-create or ginagawa. But then, okay, yung mga tao na merong similar na beliefs, okay, may similar na point of view, may similar na prinsipyo na feeling nila align doon sa politicians na kanilang sinusuportahan, ay okay, motivated na magkaroon ng pagtitipon halimbawa o halimbawa nga lang sa rally. Okay, so halimbawa dyan nga sabi ko, yung political rally na kung saan so magagather sila to show their support. Of course, itong emergent theory from the word emerge. Okay, so ibig sabihin to become visible, to become visible, okay, to become known. Okay, so nagkakaroon ng new behavior, okay, with na kung saan na-develop nila from a certain situation na nag-i-emerge. Okay? So, yun. Ayan. So, may letter C, may letter C, may letter C. Puro letter C dito sa aking Facebook page. Okay. So, halimbawa dito sa magbigay pala ako ng halimbawa dito sa convergence theory natin. Okay. I mean sa sa emergent theory. So, for example, yung isang tao, titingnan yung isang tao for cues. Okay. So, yung kanilang behavior is guided by the emerging rules. Okay. So, for example, during a certain disaster, okay. So, yung ibang tao, nag-create sila ng rescue, meron silang rescue efforts. And yung iba naman, they follow and adapt this behavior as a norm. All right. So, next. Number 4. So, Teacher Ivan asked his students to conduct a science experiment instead of merely watching a demonstration. So, this teaching strategy best aligns with which level of cone of experience. Okay, so letter A, verbal symbols, B, visual symbols, C, contrived experiences, D, direct purposeful experiences. Okay, so number 4 na tayo. So Teacher Ivan asked his students to conduct a science experiment instead of merely watching a demonstration. So this teaching strategy best aligns with which level of cone of experience. So kanino ba itong cone of experience, Kai? Okay, Edgar Dale. Okay, kay Edgar Dale, yung kanyang famous na cone of experiences. A, verbal symbols, B, visual symbols, C, contrived experiences, and letter D, direct purposeful experiences. Hi, Ma'am Jen. Ayan. Sabi niya, letter D. Hi, Sir Joshua. Si Sir Joshua. Ayan. So, again, yung final coaching natin sa Feb 28 at saka sa March 1. Ayan. So, inagahan namin may ano pa kasi. And balik ako dun sa review. Okay. So, ilang ano na lang, ilang tulog na lang, exam na. Alright. So, letter D, letter D, letter D. So, anong ginawa ni teacher? Okay, ni teacher Ivan. So, sabi niya sa students niya, magkaroon o magkanda kayo ng science experiment. Okay, so instead na titingnan lang or i-demonstrate lang ni teacher halimbawa or ng kaklase yung task na gusto ibigay ni teacher. So, ang sabi ni teacher, okay, sige, ano nyo to, i-conduct nyo to as experiment. So, ano yung, sa anong level ng cone of experience ni Edgar Dale ito naaayon? Okay? Verbal symbol ba? Visual symbol? C, contrived experiences. And letter D, direct, purposeful experiences. Of course, sino yung gumawa? Of course, si students. Hindi naman si teacher, no? Kasi nag-utos siya sa kanyang student to do an experiment. Of course, so this is direct, purposeful experiences. So, ito yung pinaka-meaningful, pinaka-direct, pinaka-authentic na learning na pwedeng gawin ng isang bata. So, mas maganda or mas longer yung retention kapag si students yung gumawa, okay? O nag-demonstrate ng isang bagay. O siya mismo yung nag-research, for example, o sige, magkaroon kayo ng action plan. Okay? O magkaroon kayo ng experiment kung paano ba tumutubo yung isang plant. Okay, so ano ba nangyayari pag ganito, pag tanghali? O ano nangyayari sa mga dahon ng mga punong kahoy? So, meron silang experiences. So, meron silang direct experiences doon sa task na binigay ni teacher. O, mas maganda yun kesa sa, halimbawa, panuorin mo lang sila ng kung paano, o panuorin mo sila sa TV or sa YouTube kung paano mag-grow yung plant. So, why not let them plant? Okay, so next. Okay. So ito yung cone of experience ni Edgar Dale. Okay. So of course, yung nasa pinakababa, yan yung pinaka-concrete kasi from concrete to abstract. Okay. So yes, number 1 dito, number 1. So sa pinakababa pala, so ito yung direct purposeful experience. So ano ba ito? So ito yung real. So nagkakaroon dito ng hands-on learning. So, halimbawa nga dito yung mga science experiments o halimbawa yung gusto mo matutunan ng bata is matuto siyang lumangoy. Okay, so hayaan mo siyang lumangoy. Okay, turuan mo siya habang lumalangoy. So, mas real yung kanyang learning. So, next, meron tayong contrived experiences. So, ito yung simulated version. I-simulate mo. Okay, so for example, magkakaroon ka dyan ng models o yung mock-up. Okay, of course, dramatized experience. So, dramatized experience, so pwede ka dyan, magkakaroon sila ng role-playing, reenactments. Okay, and of course, meron din ditong demonstration. So, panunuorin nila yung isang skilled na tao or si teacher na mag-perform. Okay, so halimbawa, si teacher, may pinapakita siyang proseso. Okay, that's demonstration. Dinidemonstrate ni teacher. Okay, field trips o yung real world observation outside syempre ng classroom. Kailan ka nakakita ng field trip pero nasa classroom. Okay. So, field trip, so nagkakaroon ng real world observation sa classroom. So, usong-uso ito dati noong kabataan ko na magkakaroon kayo ng museum visit, factory visit, or halimbawa pupunta sa lugar na kung saan, halimbawa sa zoo, okay, especially yung mga elementary grades. Okay, so for example, yung topic mo is about different kinds of animals. So pwede mo sila, kung may malapit lang na zoo dyan sa inyo, okay, so pwede nyo silang i-tour. Okay, and merong, exhibits. Anong exhibits? So ito yung tinatawag nating nagkakaroon ng visual displays. Okay? Halimbawa, yung mga display sa museum o yung mga posters, ayan. So, halimbawa, yung mga paintings, pwede rin. Ayan. And next, meron tayong motion pictures. Okay. Ano ba yung mga motion pictures or yung television? Okay, so halimbawa manonood ka ng events, okay? Halimbawa documentaries, educational videos, pwede din. And next, merong audio recordings and photos. Okay, so recordings, halimbawa yung podcast, radio broadcast, pwede yan. And yung mga nasa taas na, yung visual symbols, and of course, yung text or verbal symbols. Of course, pag visual, yung mga charts, diagrams, maps, infographic. And while yung mga verbal symbols naman, ito yung mga textbooks and of course, yung pinaka-traditional na ayaw na ng mga 21st century teachers, yung lectures and yung formula. Of course, itong verbal symbols, ito na yung nasa pinakataas, napaka-abstract niya na. Okay, malayo na siya doon sa pinaka-concrete na experience na dapat na ma-experience ng ating mga students. Ayan. So, ayan. So, I hope na naalala nyo yun. So, pag nasa baba, so mas concrete siya. Okay? Pag nasa taas, abstract na siya. Okay. So, next. So, number 5. So, what was violated by a researcher who administered lethal drugs to determine their effect on users? A, right to privacy. B, coercion. C, protection from harm. D, informed consent. Again, number 5, what was violated by a researcher who administered lethal drugs to determine their effect on users? A, right to privacy. B, coercion. C, protection from harm. And D, informed consent. Okay, so mga ano dyan, sa mga nagpa-practice na ng profession, okay, or nasa mga private schools or mga nasa public schools na rin, no, volunteer, and then binigyan kayo ng task or parte sa coordinatorship na research, ayan. Alam nyo to. Okay, so mas marami pa tayong mga research concepts sa ating exclusive group. Ayan. Hi, Sir Paraiso. Sir ba? Okay. Sumagot kayo dyan sa ano. Ma'am Bay, magsumagot ka dyan. Huwag kang nuod ng nuod. Tapos alam ko na yung sasabihin mo bukas. Okay, so number 5. So what was violated by a researcher who administered lethal drugs to determine their effect on the users? Right to privacy, B, coercion, C, protection from harm, and letter D, informed consent. Hello kay Ma'am Patrician sa ating YouTube channel. Hello po. Good evening. Okay, letter C. Letter C daw. Tingnan ko sa Facebook kung may sagot ng mga ano dito. Ayan. Okay, number 5. Ano daw yung na-violate ng researcher kapag nag-administer siya ng lethal drugs to determine their effect on the users? Of course, this is obviously letter C. Ito yung mga key ethical principles sa research. Okay, so first, yung tinatawag nating informed consent. Okay, so dapat yung mga participants natin sa research must be fully informed about yung sa study ng purpose ng study, yung risk, yung benefits, and of course, halimbawa kung may funds man yan siya. So they must give their consent freely. Okay, so hindi natin silang pwedeng pilitin o yung letter B natin coercion is a no, no, no. So dapat kung halimbawa kung participant sa research, willing po sila. Okay, so dapat i-inform na natin sila kung ano yung tungkol saan ba yung study, ano ba yung mga risk, ano ba yung mga benefits ng study na ito. Okay, so next, voluntary participation. So sabi ko na yung coercion is a no, no, no. So dapat free sila to choose or to join. Okay, so dapat yung participant hindi natin ma-pressure, hindi natin pilitin, or hindi natin bayaran para lang sumali sa ating research. Okay. So, and then, for example, may panahon na ayaw na nila, so they are free to withdraw anytime na pag ayaw na nilang sumali sa iyong, pag ayaw na nilang maging participant sa iyong research. Okay, so may tinatawag din tayong confidentiality and anonymity. Okay, so dapat yung personal datas ng ating mga participants, okay, so dapat hindi natin dinidisclose. So dapat ano yun siya, dapat confidential. Okay, especially sa mga sensitive na research, for example, about prostitution, child abuse, ano pa ba, yung mga violence against women and children, yung mga sensitive na. Okay, so dapat confidential yung records or yung data ng ating mga participants. Okay, so again, and letter C natin, protection from harm. So we must, okay, kailangan talaga na i-minimize natin yung potential harm as much as possible. Dapat hindi nga ma-harm yung ating mga participants. So tayong mga researchers must assess and minimize yung potential na harm, o especially yung physical harm. Hindi lang pala yung physical harm, kasama na yung kanilang psychological, social, and legal risk ng participants. Okay. And of course, meron din tinatawag tayong integrity and honesty. So, yung researcher, kung ano lang yung data na nag-gather niya, kung ano yung sagot ni participants, so yun lang dapat yung ilalagay niya. So, dapat hindi niya i-alter. Okay. So, yung kanyang findings, so dapat i-report niya. Yung kanyang methodology, yung kanyang data, okay? So, dapat accurate without, okay? Baka mamaya gawa-gawa mo lang yan. So, without fabrication, without falsification, and hindi mo manipulate. Kasi baka mamaya, hindi naging effective yung research ko. So, kailangan effective ito. Okay, so ito, gawa natin ng, okay, so bawal po yan sa key ethical principles po ng research. And of course, isa talaga sa pinaka bawal na bawal is plagiarism. Okay, plagiarism. So, kinopya mo lang yung, tawag ito, yung iyong research. Okay, so, dapat meron tayong proper citations of other, yung halimbawa, yung mga authors, okay, kung saan mo kinuha yung, halimbawa, yung text na yan. Okay, so, and of course, dapat i-avoid natin yung pagkuha ng idea ng iba. Okay, so, ito yung plagiarism is the fundamental ethical duty ng mga researchers. And of course, dapat wala ka ring conflict of interest. Kasi baka mamaya magkakaroon ng bias. Okay. And of course, in choosing a research, dapat daw hindi yung mga controversial issues kasi most likely daw nagkakaroon ito ng mga biases. Okay? So, yun. So, mas marami pa tayong mga i-discuss na concepts about research on Sunday. And part 2 with Ma'am Donna sa susunod na week naman. Okay, so next. Ito na pala siya. Okay, so meron tayong voluntary participation. So we must avoid coercion, informed consent. So isi-state mo, isasabihin mo sa mga participants or respondents mo yung purpose, yung risk, yung benefit. Okay, yung confidential na details ng iyong mga participants, so dapat confidential. Okay, and of course, so dapat hindi rin mapahamak yung iyong mga participants. Okay, so, and of course, so kung ano man yung magiging result, so you have to, okay, magkakaroon siya ng, halimbawa yung, again, yung mga plagiarism, so i-avoid po natin yan. Nako, it's punishable by law po yan, ha? Okay. So, number 6. Alright, so number 6, so in sociology, the term anomy as used by Emile Durkheim refers to A, cultural pride, B, normlessness, C, social mobility, and letter D, political instability. So again, in sociology, the term anomy as used by Emile Durkheim refers to A, cultural pride, B, normlessness, C, social mobility, and letter D, political instability. Hi, Sir James. Let Passer the 2023. So sila yung mga pinakaunang mga anak shis namin, mga suksay babies. Hello. Ayan. So hindi na nga sila bumalik dahil passer na sila noong 2023 pa. Okay. So kung 2023 siguro mga September, sir, no? So doon pa kami kay Sir Melvin siguro niyan 2023. Hello po. Kumusta na kayo? Ayan. Okay, so ba't nagmagalaw yung wait lang ha. Okay, so yan. So nakalimutan na ba Sir James yung yung ating tawag ito, ni-review? Kasi passer na eh. Ayan. So, okay, so number 6, in sociology, the term anomy as used by Emile Durkheim refers to A, cultural pride. B, normlessness. C, social mobility. And letter D, political instability. Okay, so sabi ni Sir Mark sa ating Facebook page. Hi, Ma'am Don. Letter B daw, normlessness. So tama kaya siya? Tama ba ang lahat? Ala, Sir James, single pa rin sa Valentine's Day. Hala, nako. Tayo na lang mag-date. Virtual date. We will support each other. Okay, so this is, okay, anomy means normlessness. Okay, again, anomy means normlessness. So, na kung saan yung mga social norms natin ay nagiging weak, unclear, or nag-breakdown. Okay, so of course, the proponent niya si Emil Durkheim. So, pinopose up, tawag ito, nagkaroon siya ng, inintroduce siya itong concept na ito to explain what happens when society experiences nga yung rapid change or crisis. So again, ang proponent si Emil Durkheim. So yung concept na ito inintroduce niya to explain daw kung ano yung mangyayari kapag yung society na maka-experience ng rapid changes or halimbawa crisis. Okay, so ayan, okay na ba? So letter B po tayo, number 6. Okay. So, eto pala. So, anomy in individuals and society is a condition of instability and disintegration. So, it stems from breakdown of previously shared norms and values that regulated social interaction. So, ayan. So, examples daw ng anomy. Ito, basahin ko lang ha. People living in high-rise residences feel disconnected from one another and struggle with loneliness. Ayan. People engage in organized theft because they do not have other ways to accumulating wealth. Ayan. So, yung mga nagnanakaw daw kasi gusto nila magkaroon ng pera pero wala daw silang other ways kung paano kumita ng pera. Okay. So, individuals resorting to criminal activities, example, yung looting during times of war or military occupation. So, ito naman yung causes of anomy or yung tinatawag nating normlessness. Okay. Ito yung loss of one sense of social belonging. And number 2, breakdown of social norms that keep people united. Okay, next, number 7. So the principle that taxation should be based on a citizen's ability to pay is known as, so anong klase o anong type of tax ito? A, proportional taxation. B, direct taxation. Ay, ba't ma-explain? Okay. C, regressive taxation. D, progressive taxation. Okay, the principle that taxation should be based on citizens' ability to pay is known as A, proportional taxation. B, direct taxation. C, regressive taxation. D, progressive taxation. Ayan. Hi, Ma'am Christian. Okay. All right. D. Okay. So, sabi dito, based on citizens' ability to pay. Okay. So, this is, progressive taxation. So, yung Pilipinas, pina-follow natin itong tinatawag nating progressive taxation. So, yung as your income increases, okay, so yung tax mo, tataas din. Okay? Pag tumaas yung income mo, tataas din yung tax. And yung regressive na taxation naman, ito yung halimbawa pag bumaba yung tax mo, okay, mas halimbawa mas malaki yung babayaran mong taxes. Okay, pag proportional taxation naman, so regardless kung mataas or tumaas yung income mo or bumaba, so same percentage lang yung ikakaltas na tax sa'yo. Okay? So again, yung progressive taxation, ito yung taxation or klase ng taxation na pina-follow ng Pilipinas. Okay? Kaya, halimbawa pa may salary increase kayo o almost ng sweldo o yung increase mo, nako, taxable yan. Pag mas lalong tataas or mas lalaki yung taxes mo niyan o yung kaltas mo sa tax. Okay. Next. So, ito pala. So, regressive tax systems are thought to be disproportionately burdensome on low-income earners. So, sila yung tinatamaan kapag, okay, regressive tax system yung fina-follow ng isang bansa. So, okay, so pag proportional tax, so applies the same tax rate to all individuals regardless of their income. Mataas man, mababa, so same percentage lang. Sa progressive tax naman, so a greater percentage of taxation on higher income levels on the theory that high income earners can afford to pay more. Okay, so indirect taxes, so excise tax that are imposed on manufacturers and suppliers and passed on to consumer. So, halimbawa yung mga taxes sa binibili nating mga goods or services, yun yung mga tinatawag nating indirect taxes. Okay, number 8, so the expansion of digital economy and e-commerce in the Philippines has created which major policy challenge? Okay, A, decreased consumer choice. B, elimination of traditional markets. Oy, ba't may sagot na agad? Okay, letter C, regulation of online labor and digital taxation. And D, reduction in overseas remittances. Okay, again, the expansion of digital economy and e-commerce in the Philippines has created which major policy challenge? So this is letter C, regulation on online labor and digital taxation. So 'di ba, nakikita niyo yung mga bayaran niyo sa ano, sa halimbawa sa StreamYard or sa other digital platforms. So tumaas yung kanilang rates. Okay? Tumataas yung kanilang rates is because, okay, so nagkakaroon na ng taxation o digital taxation doon sa mga online platforms. Okay? So, halimbawa, siguro sa ano, sa StreamYard kasi masyado nang mataas yung cost ng subscription ng StreamYard, yung Netflix ninyo, ayan, kung napapansin ninyo, medyo tumaas na yung price niyan is because of taxes. Okay, so yung mga Shopee and Lazada, ayan, binibigyan din sila. So, parang 12%, o according sa research ko kanina, so 12% din yung pinapataw sa mga digital, okay, online platforms. Okay, 12%. Okay. Okay, so number 9. So which of the following is the primary reason why divorce remains a debated issue in the Philippines? Okay, so 'di ba pinapasa yung ano ba kayo, pro or anti-divorce law? Okay, so again, so which of the following is the primary reason why divorce remains a debated issue in the Philippines? A, strong influence of religious and cultural values. B, economic instability. C, lack of legal experts. And D, pressure from international organization. So, dalawa na lang tayo na walang divorce, Vatican, and of course, the Philippines. The Philippines. Dalawa na lang daw tayo na walang divorce, Vatican na lang, and Pilipinas. So, ano sa palagay nyo? Ipapasa ba ito or ano man? Okay, so letter A, sabi ni ma'am, ni Sir Mark and ni ma'am Izain o Izin. Okay. So, bakit daw hindi pinapasa pa yung divorce? Okay, it is because, okay, so the strong influence of religious and cultural values. So, yung divorce natin ay hindi pa siya legal dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? So, dalawa nga lang sabi ko kanina yung lugar na kung saan wala pang or hindi pa ina-allow yung divorce. So, Pilipinas and of course, ang Vatican City. So, meron tayong tinatawag na annulment or legal separation. O, ito yung mga legal alternatives natin. Okay, so divorce, meron sa mga kapatid natin mga Muslim under yung kanilang Muslim Personal Code of the Philippines. Okay. Yes. Holy daw ang ano, ang yung iba sabi niya, so, marriage certificate is just a piece of paper. Pero, of course, so medyo conservative pa yung ating pananaw tungkol sa diborsyo. Okay, so still, as of now, so andun pa rin yung ongoing pa rin, okay, na pinag-uusapan sa Congress itong divorce na ito. Okay, so yung alternative, so pwede kang magkaroon ng legal separation. Okay, so pero dito sa legal separation, ano lang, sine-separate lang kayong mag-asawa. Okay, and ang yung annulment naman with, tawag ito, yung annulment puwedeng, for example, na-grant yun, so may mga, ground for annulment tayo. Okay, so 'pag na-ground yun, so ivo-void niya yung marriage. Okay, so again, so puwedeng mag-divorce, yung mga kapatid nating Muslim under sa tinatawag nating, Muslim Personal Code of the Philippines. Of course, sa kultura nila pwede silang mag-asawa ng hangga't kaya nila. Nagsasana all ka na ba diyaan? Okay. So number 10. So in an economic class, students use the law of supply and demand to explain changes in market prices in their community. So which level of Bloom's taxonomy is demonstrated? So ito suking-suki talaga ito sa majorship, sa proof ed, and minsan lumalabas sa gen ed. A, understanding. B, applying. C, analyzing. D, creating. So, dapat alam mo yung mga nouns or verb na ginagamit para ma-identify mo kung under ba siya sa creating, analyzing, applying, or understanding. So, again, number 10. So, in an economic class, students use the law of supply and demand to explain changes in market prices in their community. So, which level of Bloom's taxonomy is demonstrated? Okay, understanding, applying, analyzing, creating. So dapat magkakaroon kayo ng ano, tingnan niyo yung mga clue doon sa question bago kayo mamili. Okay, kailangan mo munang suriin yung question bago ka mamili. Ayan. Letter B? Okay, letter B ba? Okay, use the law of supply and demand to explain changes in the market prices in their community. Okay, letter B, letter B. Okay, so this is applying. Okay, so ibig sabihin, na-discuss na, okay, nandoon na kayo sa application. Alright, so ayan. So yung pinakamataas sa ano ni Bloom's is yung creating. Okay, sa kanyang revised taxonomy. Okay, creating, yung pinakamataas doon ay creating. And yung pinakamababa doon is remembering. Okay, remembering, and pinakamataas creating. Okay. So, yun, letter B po tayo. Okay, so sabi ni Art Khalid, use ang keyword. Very good. Alright, so ito na yung Bloom's taxonomy. So nakikita nyo dito sa my right side, so meron siyang halimbawa dito sa remembering o sa remember. So yung remember, yung ibig sabihin, nire-recall mo lang yung na-memorize mo or nire-recall mo lang yung information. So yung mga word na pwede mong makita sa question, pag remember or remembering, yung isasagot mo is memorize, okay, duplicate, repeat, or identify. Okay, sa understand naman, so explain, ayan, report, summarize, ayan, or translate. Pwede dito sa understand. Halimbawa, guys, kasi pag hindi mo naiintindihan, paano mo ita-translate? So pag create naman, so you invent, you develop, you design, compose, generate, or construct. Ayan. So dapat at least familiar kayo or alam nyo na kung saan under yung mga verb o yung noun na ginagamit para, okay, pagdating doon sa may board exam, guhit ka na lang and shape. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, so law of demand and supply. So a theory that explains the interaction between the sellers of a resource and the buyers for that resource. So pagtataas, halimbawa sa law of demand, so pagtataas yung presyo, yung demand bababa. Pag bababa yung presyo, yung demand tataas. Sa law of supply naman, pag tataas yung presyo, magi-increase din yung supply. Okay? Kasi mahal yung presyo, so pwede mag-produce si supplier. Pag halimbawa sa law of supply, yung presyo mababa, halimbawa yung produkto, presyo ng produkto ay bababa o presyo ng kape halimbawa, bumaba siya. So yung supply ay okay, bababa din. Okay, so dapat memorize natin, expert na tayo dapat alam na natin yung law of demand and supply. Kasi basic na basic yan na minsan talaga bumabalik at bumabalik sa board. Okay? Next. So students are asked to judge the effectiveness of government policy based on given criteria. So, which level of Bloom's taxonomy is involved? Ari na naman ta. O, ito na naman tayo. A, analyzing. B, applying. C, creating. D, evaluating. Okay, pag bumalik na ako sa sa review sa Macboard, damihan ko ng ganito. Okay, students are asked to judge the effectiveness of government policy based on given criteria. So which level of Bloom's taxonomy is involved? A, analyzing. B, applying. C, creating. D, evaluating. Maglalagay ako ng So, meron tayo dito. Sabi dito is, ako na may bibigay muna ng ng clue, okay? To judge. Okay. Pag judge, anong judge? Okay, letter D, letter D, letter D. Sabi sa Facebook page. Okay. Sa Facebook, lagyan nyo naman please ng ng number. Pag letter sila, hindi natin alam kung nakakasabay ba kayo or hindi nasasabayan. Okay, so sabi ni Ma'am Ayen, so to judge is to evaluate. Very good. O, ganyan na kadali. So, pag nakita nyo to judge, hindi ko na babasahin yung next na na mga question. Shade na ako agad. Nakatipid ka ng time. Okay. 12. So, during the blank, scholars believe that reason and science could solve all problems. A, Renaissance. B, Reformation. C, Enlightenment. D, Colonization. Again, during the blank, scholars believe that reasons and science could solve all problems. Okay. Letter A, Renaissance era ba ito? Is it Reformation? It is letter C, Enlightenment, or letter D, Colonization. Okay. So, itong na to, yung magiging sagot nyo to, ang ibig din sabihin nito is yung the age of reasons. So again, the blank scholars believe that reasons and science could solve all problems. So ano ito? Renaissance, Reformation, Enlightenment, Decolonization. So again, may tayo mas marami tayong research questions on Sunday. Okay? So part 1 and 2 tayo. Last topic na po yan yung research. And then magpo-post na po kami ng pre-board and final coaching na po tayo sa Feb 28 and March 1. So, sa final coaching, so dala na kayo ng pagkain ninyo. So, mula umaga hanggang gabi po yan usually. Okay. So, dala kayo ng agahan o maligo ka na agad. Maligo ka na agad or else abutin ka ng gabi na nakatunganga lang sa laptop. Alright, letter C, letter C, letter C. And this is, of course, enlightenment. So again, yung enlightenment natin ay tinatawag ding age of reasons. So ito yung ito ay tinatawag na intellectual movement sa Europe noong 17th to 18th centuries. Na kung saan ini-emphasize dito yung reason, science, individual rights, and kina-question dito yung traditional na authority. So again, tinatawag itong age of reason. So meron tayong syempre mga key ideas dito sa tinatawag nating enlightenment. So first, reason over tradition. Okay, rason. So bawat bagay binibigyan ng rason. So kasi ang sabi doon or sa ang goal nitong enlightenment na ito, dapat daw yung mga tao should think logically. Okay? And dapat daw hindi lang tayo nabubulag doon sa traditional na tradition or authority na ini-impose po sa atin. O dapat mayroon tayong palaging rason. Di ba? Pero pag yung bata, yung estudyante natin, palaging may rason, ako nagagalit tayo. Okay, and of course, yung pinopromote nila yung, of course, yung natural rights. Okay. So, tayong mga individual daw o yung mga tao during the Enlightenment era, okay, meron silang hindi lang sila merong rights, but okay, meron silang tinatawag na natural rights dahil sila ay tao. So pagkapanganak mo, automatic meron ka na agad rights na tinatawag o yung natural rights mo. Okay? And of course, yung tinatawag na social contract. So ano ba yung social contract? So yung government nag-i-exist lang siya dahil gusto natin mga tao na tayo ay pamunuan. Okay? So yung social contract, okay, so yung government daw, okay, nag-i-exist dahil gusto natin na tayo ay i-govern or pamunuan. Okay. So, and of course, yung separation of powers. Yung separation of powers, yung government o yung power ng government should be divided to prevent abuse. Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag na separation of powers. Okay? Kasi before, for example, yung president, siya yung executive, siya yung legislative, siya rin yung, halimbawa, judiciary. So, minsan, nang-aabuso kasi syempre, yung batas na gagawin niya ay maa-approve agad, wala ng check and balances. And of course, when it comes sa tinatawag nating religious tolerance na tinatawag, so dapat meron daw tayong freedom of belief. Okay? And yung belief na yun should be respected. Okay? At yung belief na yun should be respected. Okay. So yung may mga so yung mga tao na behind dito o yung mga enlightenment thinker. So si John Locke, sino pa ba? Okay. So si John Locke yung kanyang ano is natural rights, life, liberty and property. Si Thomas Hobbes, yung social contract niya, yung si Jean-Jacques Rousseau, yung popular sovereignty na ang sabi niya the power should belong to the people. Si Montesquieu which is yung separation of powers and si Voltaire na kung saan yung freedom of speech and of course yung religion. Okay, so ayan. So again, number 12, letter C po tayo, enlightenment or yung age of reasons. Ayan. Yes, very good. Check and balance. Ayan. Hey, hi Ma'am Jen. Okay. Son, ayan. Okay, 13. 13, so the blank method tests data through observation and experiment. Again, the blank method tests data through observation and experiment. A, scientific, B, faith, C, rationalist, and letter D, correct. Again, the blank method tests data through observation and experiment. A, scientific, B, faith, C, rationalist, and letter D, correct. Okay, letter A, letter A, letter A. Yung ginagamit daw na method para i-test yung, halimbawa, experimentation o yung experiments. Okay. Letter A. So, obvious naman, no? Of course, letter A, scientific method, test data through observation and experiment. So, ano ba yung observation? Especially sa research. So, mag-o-observe ka lang. Okay. So, manonood ka lang at i-record mo yung behavior without interfering or halimbawa i-manipulate yung variable mo, halimbawa. Okay. So, halimbawa, yung, for example, ng observation is researcher observes yung behavior ng voters during the campaign. Okay? So, in-observe niya lang yung behavior ng mga voters during the campaign, halimbawa. Okay. So, meron tayong dalawang klase ng, apat pala. So, meron tayong apat na klase ng observation. So, first, meron tayong participant observation, non-participant, structured observation, and unstructured observation. Pag halimbawa ng participant observation, so ikaw na researcher, andoon ka, okay, nagpa-participate ka or andoon ka, nag-o-observe sa mismong, tawag ito, sa halimbawa sa group or community na gusto mong i-observe. Okay, non-participant observation, so hindi ka kasali, nag-o-observe ka lang. Okay? Pag sinabi nating structured observation, meron kang plano. Okay? Meron kang checklist kung ano yung i-record mo yung behavior. Yung o-observe ko is yung halimbawa yung kung ilang beses silang nagtataas ng kamay, halimbawa yung students ko. Okay, so yun yung structured. Pag tinawag nating unstructured, so lahat-lahat ng gusto mong na-observe mo, i-record mo regardless yan ng halimbawa kung wala man yan siyang checklist, so okay lang. Okay? So, you record everything without a specific plan. So, pag structured, meron kang predetermined plan. Pag unstructured, wala kang, okay, specific plan. So, you record everything kapag unstructured. Okay, so, next. So, ayan. So, experiment, basahin ko lang ha. So, ang experiment is a method of scientific inquiry where researchers systematically manipulates one or more variables to determine their effect on a specific outcome. Okay, so usually, for example, ang research mo is experimental, so meron kang focus group and controlled group. Okay, sa observational study naman or research, so an observational study involves the investigator observing and collecting data without directly manipulating any variables. Okay, so pwede ka lang mag-observe. Ayan, so pwedeng structured yung observation mo, may plan or wala. Okay. Okay, next. Number 14. Alright, so in the Philippines, the blank class were inspired by the Enlightenment. A. Ruling. B. Ilustrado. C. Revolutionary. D. Insurgent. Okay, number 14, in the Philippines, the blank class were inspired by the, Enlightenment. Ruling, Ilustrado, Revolutionary, or Insurgent. Alright, letter B. Ilustrado nga ba? Okay, letter B. Okay. Ayan. So, hello pala sa mga nanonood dyan sa ating YouTube channel. Ayan. So, letter B, and meron ding letter C. So, D, in the Philippines, the blank class were inspired by the Enlightenment. Of course, kilala nyo sila yung mga ilustrados o yung tinatawag na the Enlightened One. Okay, so na-inspire sila ng Enlightenment. So, sino ba yung mga, ilustrados? So, halimbawa, si Dr. Jose Rizal, si Marcelo H. Del Pilar, si Graciano Lopez Haina. Pero ang ginagamit nila ay they use literature, journalism, or halimbawa yung kanilang mga art, okay, to have or to use or to push yung peaceful reform. So hindi sila gumamit ng dahas, okay? Hindi sila gumamit ng dahas kasi sabi nila, the pen is mightier than sword. Okay. So, meron silang propaganda movement. So, ano ba yung tinatawag ito? Sila yung leader ng propaganda movement. Si Jose Rizal, si Marcelo H. Del Pilar, and of course, si Graciano Lopez Haina. So, ano ba yung goal ng propaganda movement? So, of course, inspired by the liberal Spanish ideals, so nagdemand sila or they demanded that the Philippines be treated as a regular province of Spain. Okay? Hindi lang tayo magiging kolonya, but we will be treated as regular province of Spain. O di sana yung language natin ngayon kung hindi pa tayo nakakalaya sa mga Espanyol, Spanish sana yung ating language o Spanish bread. Okay. And of course, they called for the secularization of the clergy. And of course, representation in the Spanish Cortes. And of course, education independent of the friars. Kasi yung mga leader before o yung may power before during the Spanish era ay yung mga pari. Okay, so nagkaroon sila ng mga publication, La Solidaridad. Okay, so nakasaad doon yung mga, nakasulat dito yung mga racism narratives. Okay, doon sa ating mga kanunuan o sa mga sinaunang mga Pilipino. Okay, doon sa panahon ni Rizal. Okay, and of course, ayan. So nagkaroon ng mga works o mga publications kagaya ng work ni Rizal na No Limitang Hire and of course yung kanyang El Filibusterismo. Okay. So, again, ilustrados or yung enlightened ones. Okay. So, halimbawa, Jose Rizal, si Marcelo H. Del Pilar, and of course, Graciano Lopez Haina. Okay. Okay, so the ilustrados or the enlightened ones were middle-class Filipinos who studied or live in Europe. So most of them residing in Madrid and Barcelona. Okay, so they are considered to have promoted nationalism and patriotism through their pieces of art and, of course, literary works, and by forming various socio-political organizations that advocated for reforms. Okay. So next, 15. So, French National Day was the storming of the blank on July 14, 1789. Again, French National Day was the storming of the blank on July 14, 1789. A. Versailles, B. City Hall, C. Bastille, and letter D. Louvre. Okay. So, nabasa niyo na ba itong French Revolution? Ang dami kasi yung revolution. Nung ako yung nagre-review, talagang hindi ko nabasa lahat. Okay? Hindi ko nabasa lahat, pero basta sinasabi ko, pag halimbawa, nabigay mo yung 100% best mo sa pag-aaral, so whatever na nakasulat doon sa test questionnaire ninyo, masasagutan nyo yan. So, just in case, kasi hindi naman natin alam kung ano yung ibibigay ni BPT na mga questions. So, just in case na hindi, or feeling nyo ang hirap ng question, or hindi nyo talaga alam, okay, so halimbawa hindi siya lumabas, halimbawa yung mga ang daming inaral. So syempre, you have to be ready kasi. So lahat ng mga aaralin mo, andiyan na yan sa utak mo. Pag feeling mo na pag feeling mo wala kang nare-recall, so mare-recall mo yan pag nakita mo na yung question. So ganyan yung nangyayari sa pagdating sa may actual board, no? Okay, feeling mo wala kang alam, pero meron po yan. Okay, mare-recall mo lang siya pag makita mo na yung mga questions. Kasi, for example, hindi man siya lumabas, halimbawa, yung naaral mo sa proof ed, sa gen ed, hindi man siya lumabas, pero halimbawa, magagamit mo siya pag gumamit ka ng elimination. Kasi, for example, alam mo yung isang concept at alam mo na hindi yun yung kanyang definition or hindi yun kanyang description, of course, i-eliminate mo yun dahil naaral mo yun. Okay? And the rest, halimbawa, kung may bago sa'yo and yung tatlo, hindi mo alam mo, okay, yung A, B, C, alam mo, so might be na yung letter D yung sagot. So kahit na hindi mo siya naaral. So you have to be smart and strategic kapag magre-review at sasagot syempre sa actual board. Hindi yung halimbawa number 1 pa lang, mahirap na, nagbilog-bilog ka lang or nag-shade-shade ka na lang doon. Hindi po ganyan. So meron akong kaklase dati sa RC, sa online RC na after ng exam kasi nagkaroon agad siya ng feedbacking sa parang GC. Sabi niya, ang hirap ng exam, ang ginawa ng kaklase ko o yung friend ko, sabi niya, sinade niya na lang kahit ano. So, don't do that. Okay? Basahin niyo pa rin and try your best kasi nakikita naman ni Lord yung ating pagsisikap. Ha? Okay. Ayaw pataka. Okay, so again, number 15. So French National Day was the storming of the Blanc on July 14, 1789. A. Versailles, B. City Hall, C. Bastille, D. Louvre. Okay, so this is, the storming of the Bastille, marks the French National Day noong, nagkaroon kasi ng storming of the Bastille. Okay, so noong July 14, sabi dito 1789, saan? Of course, sa Paris, France, kasi French nga ito, mga Pranses. Okay? And of course, anong ginawa yung mga citizens? Inatake nila yung Bastille. So yung Bastille, isa itong royal prison and symbol of absolute monarchy and tyranny during that time. Okay, so ano yung causes? Of syempre, political. Marami siyang causes, but first, political. Ito kasing during the reign of King Louis XVI, siya yung hari before, and of course, the last king of France. Kasi after nito, na dissolve na or natanggal na yung monarchy. Okay, so siya isang absolute ruler. So yung mga tao o yung mga French, they demanded reforms and a constitutional monarchy. So gusto nila from absolute monarchy magkaroon ng constitutional monarchy. And political and followed by economic. So nagkaroon ng food shortages, matataas sa taxes, and of course, high unemployment. And nagkaroon ng inequality. Inequality between the states o yung kanilang from the halimbawa inequality sa clergy, nobility, and of course sa commoners. And yung Bastille kasi it represented the king's oppression and arbitrary power. Okay, so ano nangyari? So yung mga galit na mga Parisians, pumunta sa Bastille. So kinuha lahat ng mga weapons, lahat ng mga gunpowder. Okay, yung guards doon, pinatay nila or hinuli. Okay, and of course, 7 na lang ata na prisoners yung kanilang pinalaya. Okay, and of course, it became symbol of resistance. And after ng storming of the Bastille, ano nangyari? Okay, nag-start na yung French Revolution. Okay. And of course, naipakita nila yung power ng mga Parisians over the tyranny. Okay, yung against the tyrant ruler na si King Louis XVI. Okay, and of course, pagkatapos noon, yung July 14, itong July 14, 1789, ito na yung naging tinawag lang Bastille Day or national holiday. Ayan, so yan yun, ganun yung mga nangyari, kaya nagkaroon ng noong every July 14, so ito yung French National Day ng mga Pranses. Okay, Number 16, so a public official who violates ethical standards and engages in graft may be investigated by which constitutional office? A, Supreme Court, B, Commission on Human Rights, C, Senate, and letter D, Ombudsman. Okay, a public official who violates ethical standards and engages in graft may be investigated by which constitutional office? A, Supreme Court, B, Commission on Human Rights, and letter C, Senate. Okay, letter C. Sabi ni Sir Jericho, letter D. Sabi ni Ma'am Mary, letter D. Ayan. Letter C, sabi ni Sir Mark. Ayan. Letter D, and letter D, sabi ni Sir James. Okay, so again, a public official who violates ethical standards and engages in graft may be investigated by which constitutional office? Supreme Court ba? Commission on Human Rights, C, Senate, and letter D, Ombudsman. Ayan, letter D. So this is, the correct answer is, of course, Ombudsman. Okay, so hello kay Sir Benito. Hello po, ayan. Alright, so hello po dyan sa mga nasa YouTube channel namin. And of course, sa Facebook page. Okay, letter E. So, sino ba yung ombudsman? Okay, sino ba yung ombudsman? So, ito yung independent constitutional body na kung saan naatasang mag-investigate or mag-prosecute ng public officials na, na yung mga kaso ay corruption, misconduct, or abuse of power. So, minsan, tinatawag din itong ombudsman na watchdog of the government. Again, ombudsman, tinatawag din itong watchdog or of the government. Okay, so yung legal basis ng ating ombudsman is under the Article 11, Section 18. Okay, Article 11, Section 18. And under the Republic Act 6770 or yung Ombudsman Act of 1989. So ano ba yung mga functions and powers of the ombudsman? First, of course, investigates yung mga complaints against a government officials or employees. So ayan, for example, may mga government officials kayo siya na feeling nyo merong misconduct or na-involve sa corruption, so pwede kayo mag-file ng case sa ombudsman. Okay, so yung task din nila is to prosecute public officials before the Sandigang Bayan. Okay, yung mga anti-graft court natin. And they recommend, yung ombudsman natin recommends preventive measures to avoid corruption. And of course, they also ensure accountability and integrity in public service. O sino yung pwedeng imbestigahan? Of course, President, Vice President, and other elected officials. Yung mga government employees and officials in the bureaucracy. And of course, yung mga local government officials, sabi ko nga kanina. Okay, so President, Vice President, and of course, yung lahat ng mga elected government official. Okay, so next. Okay, so next. Ayan. So, yung ombudsman daw has been described as public defender, a grievance man, a watchman over the law's watchman, voice of the citizen, and citizens' counselor. Ayan. So, yung ombudsman, so it protects citizens against injustices committed by the civil officials. Ayan. Okay. Yan. 17. So the monument or the Bonifacio Monument in Caloocan City was sculpted by A. Fernando Amorsolo, B. Guillermo Tolentino, C. Juan Luna, and letter D. Carlos Botong Francisco. Okay, the Bonifacio Monument in Caloocan City was sculpted by si Fernando Amorsolo ba, si Guillermo Tolentino ba, si Juan Luna, or si Carlos Botong Francisco. Hi, Sir Emil. Hi. Nakapag-ano na yan? Nakapag-oath ka na, Sir Emil? Ayan. Finally. Letter B, letter B. Okay. So, yung monumento daw ni Rizal. O yung, Rizal. Kay Bonifacio pala. The monument of Bonifacio in Caloocan City was sculpted by, redundant yung aking ano. Okay. Ay, nako. Sana all love, Sir Emil. Sana all mahal. Ayan. Hi, Ma'am Norsaline. Alright. So, letter B, letter B, letter B. Ayaw maniwala ni Ma'am doon. Ayaw niya maniwala. Walang halong char, sabi niya. Okay, sino sculptor daw ang nagdisenyo nitong monumento ni Bonifacio sa Caloocan City? Sino? Letter B, 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 of course. Sino? Si Guillermo Tolentino. Again, Guillermo Tolentino, siya yung tinaguriang national artist for sculpture. So, yung mga ginagawa niya is mga monumento, yung parang half body lang na sculpture. And yung mga iconic na mga national symbol. So, kung familiar kayo doon sa oblation ng UP, siya din yung gumawa noon. Again, yung oblation sa University of the Philippines, si Guillermo Tolentino din yung gumawa. And of course, yung Bonifacio Monument sa Caloocan siya rin. And yung Rizal monumento ni Rizal sa may isa din siya ginawa na monumento ni Rizal. Okay. So, yun. So, sino ba si Fernando Amorsolo? So, he was known as the Grand Old Man of the Philippine Art. Again, si Fernando Amorsolo was known as the Grand Old Man of the Philippine Art. Okay. So, ano ba yung ginawa niya? Yung planting of rice, dalagang bukid, the making of the Philippine flag, and yung Barrio Fiesta. Again, ano yung gawa ni Fernando Amorsolo? Yung planting of rice, dalagang bukid, the making of the Philippine flag, and Barrio Fiesta. And sino pa ba? Si Carlos Botong Francisco. Ayan. So, yes, very good, Ma'am Mary. Planting of rice. Okay. Si Carlos Botong Francisco, more on historical paintings and murals. Okay, na nagpapakita ng Filipino culture and history. Halimbawa, yung gawa ni Carlos Botong Francisco is yung Blood Compact. Blood Compact, the first mass in Limasawa, the martyrdom of Rizal. Ayan. So, blood compact, the first mass in Limasawa and martyrdom of Rizal. Kanino? Kay Botong Francisco. Okay, so, ayan. Meron pa si Juan Luna. Ano ba yung gawa ni Juan Luna? Of course, yung kanyang pinaka-famous na Daspolarium, kay Juan Luna yan. The Blood Compact o yung Sanduguan, yung mas earlier na version, kanya yon. Espanya y Filipinas, The Death of Cleopatra. Again, Spolarium, Sanduguan or the Blood Compact, yung mas early na version ha. Espanya y Filipinas and the Death of Cleopatra. Kay Juan Luna po yan. Pero usually yung tinatanong dyan kung kanino ba gawa yung Spolarium. Kay Juan Luna yon. Kay Tolentino naman yung Planting of Rice. Ayan. Ayan, very good. Spolarium. Okay, so ayan, yan yung gawa ni Guillermo Tolentino. Ayan. 'Di ba ang galing? Okay. So napaka-talented. Okay, 18. So which research method is most appropriate if a social studies teacher wants to examine the voting behavior of 10,000 registered voters in a province? A, case study, B, ethnography, C, survey research, and D, historical method. Again, so which research method is most appropriate if a social studies teacher wants to examine the voting behavior of 10,000 registered voters in a province? Case study ba, ethnography, survey research, and the historical method? Okay. Sana kayo? Hello, Sir Benito. Okay, letter C. Ayan. Anong research method ay yung gagamitin mo kapag, halimbawa, gusto mong i-examine yung voting behavior ng 10,000 registered voters in a province? So, kaya mo ba yan siyang interviewin lahat-lahat? Kaya mo bang mag-interview lahat-lahat niyan, ng 10,000 na yan? Okay, letter C. Okay, so let's answer number 18. So this is, okay, survey research. Okay, survey research. So bakit? So ito yung gagawitin mong method kapag gusto mo mag-collect ng information sa napakaraming tao. So gagamit ka ng questionnaires or interviews. So mas possible siguro questionnaires. Kasi kung interviews, lawak siguro, napakarami. Okay, so dito sa may tinatawag nating survey method, so usually pag gagamit ka ng survey, so malalaki or large population yan palagi. So it is good for, halimbawa, mag-measure ka ng opinions or mag-ask ka ng opinions ng kanilang attitudes, halimbawa attitudes ng voters or kanilang opinions. Okay, so mostly kapag survey, quantitative. Okay, mostly lang ha. So pwede rin siyang quali. So depende sa ano. Okay, so example niyan, ayun nga, nagsa-survey ka ng 10,000 registered voters at gusto mo malaman yung kanilang behavior or halimbawa yung kanilang opinion kung sino yung kanilang gustong iboto halimbawa. Okay, so pag sinabi ng survey method, so you ask people for information. So maraming tao ha. You ask many people for the information. So pag sinabi naman nating case study, okay. So ito ay nag-i-examine ka lang ng isang tao, isang grupo or isang event, okay? So mas malalim yung study na ito. So makakatulong ito to understand yung complex situations. So usually pag case study, it is qualitative. Okay. So halimbawa yung you want to study the leadership style of a successful school principal. So pwede ka mag-conduct ng case study. Okay. Pag sinabi naman nating letter D, yung historical method, so So ito yung method that studies past events to understand the present or to predict the future trends. Okay, anong gagamitin mo diyan? Yung mga archives, yung documents, yung letters, or of course, yung records. Okay, so halimbawa, mag-explain ka ng causes and effect or gusto mo malaman yung causes and effect of the Philippine Revolution halimbawa. Okay. So halimbawa, magkakaroon ka ng research about Philippine Revolution, kung paano ito nakaapekto sa modernong demokrasya. Okay, so that is case study. Again, so pag sinabi naman nating ethnography, okay, ano yung ibig sabihin ng ethnography? Okay, so ito yung researcher, mamumuhay siya kasama or mag-i-interact siya doon sa community or sa kultura ng community na kung saan gusto niyang pag-aralan yung kultura o yung kanilang behavior. So, anong gagawin mo diyan? So, you observe daily life practices. Okay? So, usually, ito ay qualitative and immersive. And kadalasan, it involves yung tinatawag nating participant observation. No? You emerge in that certain culture para mas maintindihan mo at para mas ma-observe mo kung ano ang ginagawa or ano yung kultura nila. So, for example, pag-aaralan mo yung rituals. Halimbawa, pag-aaralan mo yung rituals rituals and traditions of Filipino barangay halimbawa. Mhm. All right. So that is ethnography. All right. Next, number 19. Okay, 19. So which of the following strategies in teaching social skills is best to use when teaching about self-regulating activities for learners with autism? A, self-management. B, social stories. C, priming. And letter D, inclusion. Again, so which of the following strategies in teaching social skills is best to use when teaching about self-regulating activities for learners with autism? Self-management, B, social stories, C, priming, D, inclusion. Ayan. Okay. Letter A. Mhm. Alright. A. Sabi ni Sir Jericho, A. Sabi ni Ma'am Ayen, A din. Okay. So, which of the following strategies in teaching social skills is best to use when teaching about self-regulating activities for learners with autism? Ayan. Pahabol si Sir Justin or si Ma'am Justine ba, letter A. So this is nakuha ko to sa Special and Inclusive Education na libro. Okay. So this is self-management. So andito yung clue, self-regulating activities for learners with autism. So self-management. So ano ba yung self-management? So ito yung kakayahan ng isang tao, especially ng isang bata na mayroong special needs to control their behavior, emotions, and of course, yung kanilang learning. So anong role natin mga teachers? So we help that student na magkaroon or iset yung kanyang goals and of course, imomonitor yung kanilang progress. So of course, it encourages yung tinatawag nating responsibility and their independence. Okay, so pwedeng magkakaroon sila ng halimbawa kung sila yung nagkakaroon sila ng self-reward or sila mismo yung magmo-monitor sa kanilang halimbawa gawain or learning. Okay, so yun. So halimbawa sa self-management, halimbawa how you manage yourself. Okay, how you manage yourself. Pag sinabi nating priming, anong priming? Okay, ano yung priming? So ito yung halimbawa i-expose mo yung bata, okay, doon sa nakaka-influence sa kanyang behavior or responses. Okay, so anong goal nito o yung points ang pinupunto nito is you prepare learners for learning. Okay, and it activates their prior knowledge and kadalasan ginagamit ito sa teaching para mas maintindihan nila or ma-enhance yung kanilang understanding. Okay, halimbawa magfa-flash ka ng picture ng prutas. Okay, bago mo basahin yung isang story para sa or about sa halimbawa sa farm. Okay? Mag-show ka ng picture ng prutas bago mo basahin yung kwento tungkol sa farm. Okay. So, and ano pa ba? Social stories. O, syempre, ano gagawin mo dyan? So, you teach social skills. Okay? Tuturo mo yung social skills nila and expected behaviors through, okay, yung kanilang, yung tinatawag na descriptive theory, stories. Again, descriptive stories, teach social skills and kung ano yung in-expect na behavior. Okay, so ano yan? So, ito yung you explain situations clearly. You mag-show ka rin ng appropriate responses. And of course, it reduces yung anxiety in unfamiliar situation. So, halimbawa, nagkakaroon ka ng a story about, halimbawa, kung paano mag-wait or yung, halimbawa, yung mag-fall in line. Halimbawa, sa may coffee shop. Okay, so ibig sabihin, tinuturuan mo yung bata na magkaroon ng patience. Okay? Magkaroon ng patience. And last but not the least, so ano yan? Okay, so which of the following is an example of material culture? Again, so which of the following is an example of material culture? A. Religious beliefs. B. Architectural structures. C. Language, symbols, and letter D. Social norms. Again, so which of the following is an example of material culture? Mhm. Sabi nila maraming research. So anyways, so as much as possible, so nagbibigay ako or gumagawa ako ng quizzes every day. Okay, especially pag hindi ako busy. Ayan. So, as of now, nasa quiz number 47 na kami. Okay. Random quizzes yon na para, ano na siya, practice sets. Okay. Para sagutan lang ninyo habang nagwe-wait tayo ng schedule ng next live session. So, as of now, sa aming exclusive group, nakagawa na ako ng 47 quizzes, 47 sets na quizzes. And again, so last one topic, which is yung pinaka-hihintay natin na research, okay, research topic, yung natitira na lamang na i-discuss natin through our live session. And after that, again, so magpe-pre-board na tayo, ipopost na ni Ma'am Donna yung pre-board. And mag-wait na naman tayo ng schedule ng final coaching, which is on March 28 and February 1. Okay, sa exclusive group lang po yan. So kung gusto nyo pa mag-join sa aming review program, so may enough time pa po para aralin po yung mga videos, yung mga diagnostic tests, yung mga per topic na quizzes, and yung mga practice test na 47 as of now. And dadagdagan ko pa yun pag medyo hindi na busy. Okay. And abangan nyo rin po yung mga live sessions ko dito sa my Facebook page, sa YouTube about professional education after na po ng final coaching. So, para at least po mas madadagdagan po yung inputs natin o yung knowledge natin para mabaon niyo po sa board exam. So, mag-live po ako ng pang final coaching. Mag-proof ed muna ako, and then pag may time pa, mag-gen ed. Okay. So, ayan. So, follow niyo lang po yung aming YouTube channel and of course our Facebook page para po mapanood yan. Okay. So, nakapag-decide ako kasi may exam yung aking Macboard students sa end of March. So, i-discuss ko ulit yung alaman ng aking PPT para kanilang ma-review at the same time, ma-share ko din po sa magte-take this March. So, baka po may mga magte-take dyan. So, free lang naman po ito. Walang bayad. Okay. So, yung mentorship namin, merong minimal na bayad. Pero, rest assured na bawing-bawi yung 500 pesos nyo sa aming final coaching. At hindi lang yung sa final coaching, sa aming mga regular sessions and quizzes. So, maling conception kasi noon na misconception or maling mindset na final coaching lang yung i-avail natin. Okay? Wala kasi kaming separate program for final coaching. So, yung 500 pesos nyo, it covers yung pinaka-first live session namin, which is trends and issues, up to yung research natin. And of course, kasama na yung pre-board yung sets of quizzes, yung mga quizzes per topic, and of course, yung final coaching. Okay? Kasi minsan hindi na kami nag-uulit ng concepts galing doon sa aming regular discussions o yung mga per topic discussions, hindi na namin ginagamit, or ako personally, hindi ko na siya binabalik sa hindi ko na siya binabalik sa final coaching. Okay? So, kung final coaching, so what if, okay, marami tayong what if. So, what if na yung na-discuss namin pala doon sa trends and issues, so hindi na namin na-discuss sa final coaching, yun pala yung ginamit ni board, di ba? So, wag po tayong tatamad-tamad sa pagre-review kasi yung effort ninyo doon magre-reflect yung kung gaano kataas yung rating na makukuha po natin sa board exam. Okay, no pain, no gain po tayo dito, ha? Okay. So, ayan. Okay? So, again, so which of the following is an example of material culture? Religious belief, architectural structures, language symbols, and letter D, social norms. Again, so which of the following is an example of material culture? Ano ba yung culture? Okay, so the totality of life is a set of belief, traditions, norms, folkways, so lahat-lahat na. Okay. And of course, meron yan dalawang. Okay, so meron tayong tinatawag na material culture and non-material culture. Pag material culture, ito yung tangible na hawakan natin. Okay, so pwede mo siyang i-touch. Okay, pag non-material naman, non-material culture, halimbawa, ayan, anong halimbawa? Ayan, religious belief, language, symbol, social norms, which is intangible. Pag material, tangible. Pag non-material, intangible. Okay? So, ayan. So, ayan na siya. Alright. So, ayan. So, that ends our short live session this evening. So, I hope na may natutunan kayo. Ayan. And soon, sabi ko nga, magkakaroon tayo ng free review para sa professional education or general education. So, depende kung ano yung matatapos natin. Okay, this is for my Macboard students na kailangan nilang i-review yung nire-review namin sa aming face-to-face. But then, so kung importante yon para sa alam ko importante yon para sa magte-take this March o baka mamaya may mapulot kayo doon, especially sa mga dito sa aking Facebook. So, ayan lang po, andyan lang po yan. And again, so kung gusto pang mag-join sa aming review program, especially sa mga social studies major or may kakilala kayo, friend, ayan. So, i-mention nyo na lang po dito or i-refer nyo na lang po yung aming Facebook page and kami na po yung mag-explain kung paano po yung ginagawa or paano ba yung mode of review ba? Okay. So again, thank you so much, especially doon sa naka-follow pa rin sa aming page from our mga anakshis from 2023. Okay, na wala pa kaming sariling program up to sa mga kakapasa lamang namin mga babies. Ayan, sa Sir Emil, hello po sa inyo. Sir Joshua, so sino ba sila? Basta ang dami nila. Okay, so thank you so much sa patuloy na pagtitiwala and supportan niyo po sa The Do Top Notchers Corner. So I hope na i-recommend nyo pa rin kami kahit na LPTs na kayo. Ayan. So, thank you so much. And keep in touch lang po. So, anyway, yung mga iba naming anakshis is nagme-message naman pag halimbawa may questions or may mga tanong. Okay, so that ends our live session or yung ating episode 2 this evening. And again, thank you so much and good night and God bless us all po. Ingat po kayo. Good night!